Everybody, hey traders, happy Thursday. Welcome back. It's the final hour, 3 p.m. time, October 17th. How's everybody doing? Let's get started here. Let's roll for the final bit of trading today. So far, decent day. Very nice day to close out for some highs with the SPY. We hit some all-time highs, capitalize on that. I'm seeing TSM flying back down. Let me actually take a look at TSM today. This is an earnings play that I took with my Pulver alerts, and I want to see how this guy's doing post earnings. Let's have a look at it. TSM, see if there's a bit of a volatility drain, and we are looking at a 1, 2, 3, 4 trading for 16.79, and I pulled in $12 credit. So what I'd like to see coming into next week on TSM, that would be yes. So I'd like to see price. If this happens by tomorrow, this would be even better. If we actually get back into this gap tomorrow, I can probably get what's currently trading at 16.79. I'd like to see this thing quickly decay down to like $10 or less. I did take $12 of credit. Ideally, I was looking to close this at $10 or $8. And that may happen as early as tomorrow if we come back and have a gap fill. We'll see how that plays out. So that's an earnings play on TSM that I'm taking this out to next Friday. If I go to Netflix, we have earnings today after market. Netflix has been down all week, really. This is interesting. So Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, we had a top last week on Friday near, actually at all-time highs. And we have been down all week on Netflix. I am interested to see how earnings play out tonight after market, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. I bought two very inexpensive bull call spreads. And so if we have a big positive beat and we gap up towards 750 plus, okay, then I'll get paid on those bull call spreads. If it drops to the downside, I actually have this stock sitting out to December, which is a 111 with a hedge that I collected about $2.50 for income, but I'm willing to own the shares and repair this thing for, I would say, pretty straightforward, like $1,000 or more. And so if I take a $170 loss on this earnings play, and I get any type of share assignment if we have a big dip, or honestly, this trade's probably fine for income, and that's $250. And right here, if I risk both and I lose $170, no big deal. But if I took a credit spread down near this 200 EMA, I'll probably do that and see if we bounce up here for the rest of the year and maybe pull in. Depends on the spread. If I have a $2.50 spread or $5 spread, I'll probably pull in like $1.75 or better, and I'll probably do maybe 3 to 5 contracts. So if I lose here, win here, and also add some additional exposure, more than likely, if we get up to these highs again or try to test them by the end of the year, nice little income here, nice little income here. I can take the earnings loss and move on and go about my business. Okay. Jay, good question. New program you're sending out on Sunday, or I'm starting on Sunday. Yes, I'll send out the link for that. Look for that in my Telegram channel. So I'll send it out to my Chris Pulver Telegram. I'll send it to my Discord service, as well as my my Daily Profit Play members portal. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to doing it. I know it's on Sunday. It's not my favorite thing to do weekend webinars, but the reason why I'm doing it is because we're going to be placing the trade on Monday. That is the goal. And so that's going to be the session on Sunday. I will record it. It's also going to be available for replay, so you can check that out at your convenience. But we are placing the trade on Monday, so if you do attend on Sunday, that's a good time to get started and to be ready to hit the ground running with me. But I will post that everywhere. All right. So if you're following me out there, my Discord channel, my Telegram, and my member Telegram, same thing. I'll plot the links so you can get registered for it. Cool. All right, Francois, look at this. Closed my morning daily profit play for 15%. The afternoon daily profit play for 50%, up $450 for the week so far. Boom. That's awesome. Yeah, last week I'm up like $615 this week, even with that late afternoon loss. That trade was so stupid, by the way. I got in. So I put the trade on, I had it set up where it's like, yeah, just stay in the middle. If we chill for another like 20, 30 minutes, and sure enough, 2 o'clock onwards, there's just too much sensitivity and there's too much gamma risk in the afternoons with these 0 DTEs. And so I put it in. I'm glad I put the stop loss because it would probably be trading for like a $2 to $3 debit right now, which would have been, a $200 to $300 loss instead of capping it at $50. So I'm totally fine. Net profitable on the day, close out for like almost $300 on the SPY. and then we have some other trades running, and we'll see what Netflix does. We'll see what my TSM does next week. Maybe it's paying out by tomorrow. I'd love to grab another $200 to $400 per contract on TSM and see how that plays out for tomorrow. If we come back and fill that gap, if we have a little bit more downside momentum, Netflix is a big enough stock here. We are sitting at what is Netflix, by the way? Market cap is 296 billion. So it's about $300 billion. Let me see if this is a top 10 holding. If I go to SPY holdings, if Netflix is in there, or maybe it's tech. I guess I can just check the tech sector. Let me go sector report here. Pretty sure Netflix has to be in there somewhere. Let's go tech. And maybe it's consumer discretionary. I'm not sure where Netflix is. I know it's somewhere. What sector is Netflix? All right, I'm going to put, is Netflix in sector ETF? Is Netflix in sector ETF? There are 272 ETFs which contain Netflix. That is wild. Let's see, U.S. stock market. I guess I'm going to put in like a spider sector. Spyless holdings, whatever. I'm not going to sit here and find a needle. I thought it was in here somewhere. If it's not tech, let's check consumer discretionary. Ford is consumer discretionary. Communication service. That's going to be your Meta. Yeah, Meta, AT&T. All right. Anyway, Netflix is what it is. It's $300 billion. It's a big stock. Back in the day, it was referred to as the FANG, right? Part of the FANG man. You throw Tesla in there, you got FANG T man. Now it's Mag 7. They'll keep evolving with those top 7s, top 5s, top 3s, top 10s, whatever. But Netflix is a beast. I think we can safely say it's king of the streaming services. You got your Hulus, you got your Amazon Primes, you got your HBO Maxes, you got your bundles, you got your Disney Plus, whatever. Netflix, I've had Netflix literally since I got DVDs when I was in college, and I've owned the shares since I bought my first membership to Netflix, and I had a DVD sent to my apartment. I actually was a member of GameFly for a while, which took the Netflix model and did it for video games. I had GameFly for like 2 years, and it was really great for like maybe 6 or 8 months, and you get like your top 2 or 3 video games, and then after that it's like I'm not even getting anything in my top 10. Like I'd have like a queue built up of 20, 30, 40 games, and they're sending me one. I'm like, I don't really want that. All the new games I wouldn't get. I'm like, whatever. And it was like 14, 15 bucks a month. But here I'm paying for Netflix. It's still, it's gone up from price from like $4 or $5 a month, now like $17, $18 a month. You can actually did anybody have DVDs up to like the last year? I ended up playing video games with a buddy of mine on Fridays, and he, for the last like 20 years, has had Netflix DVDs sent to his house, and they just discontinued that. I'm like, that's crazy. And it was the same price. It never went up in price. It was always like $5 a month, but you get like one movie at a time. So communication services, is it there? Is it one of the big ones? Let's go next. Yep, it's there. 5.9. Okay, let me go to weight. Previous. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I was gonna say it's like top. I was gonna say top 10 at least in these sectors. So yeah, communication services. Thank you for pointing that out there, Carmen. And Netflix 5.95% weighting in the XLC sector. So anyway, let's see what happens. We're at the 50 EMA. I'm gonna wait for this to dip. If we go like down on earnings, I'm probably going to throw in a credit spread, look for a gap fill, give us some time. I'll probably go out to November, December. If it comes down, like I said, I'm happy to own the shares. I could pretty easily repair this stock for a couple $100. I am right now in the process of getting Walgreens hopefully called away this week at $8. We'd have to drop. We have to drop the fresh lows on Walgreens if I'm going to lose the stock or get the stock where I don't get it called away. So I do have protection on my own shares. I do have also, so earnings was positive on Walgreens, which was good. I have a break even of like $8 and something. I sold the $8 covered call to collect a premium. I'll get like $350 per account if it stays above $8 tomorrow. So I'm pretty sure that we're going to stay above $8, which would be another 23% decline in a day. The catalyst was earnings, and we came in slightly positive, which is good. And maintained at neutral. We also have the fundamentals and discounted cash flow show like a $24 fair market value. We got a nice big fat gap fill on this one. So I should get Walgreens called away tomorrow for profit. I did a roll on, let me check Pfizer. Pfizer, I might end up increasing this thing by another couple of bucks. I think I have expirations on Pfizer this week or next week. Let me confirm. Pfizer is $29.50 for tomorrow. If it doesn't get called away, I'm going right back into another $29.50. Let me see if this is something I could roll right now. No, it's worth 25 cents. I'm just going to let this run. If it gets called away tomorrow, my Pfizer position is up a decent chunk of profit. Right now, I'm up about $20,000 in Pfizer. If I can add another covered call or add a sell call against my diagonal spread, I will be probably increasing profit another like $200 to $300, lowering my cost basis, and bump this up to maybe $21,000 to $22,000 max profit. So let's see what happens tomorrow. This one may get called away. Here's an easy way to track this in my Tasty Trade platform. I go to DTE, and I have my Walgreens here that gets called away tomorrow for an $8 covered call. So right there, those two accounts, and right there for 2,000 and 1,000 shares. Hang on a second. Nope, that's not right. 1,000 shares, 1,000 shares. And then my 10 contracts, 10 contracts. So it's basically just a buy right, but I bought an in the money call to generate that income. Likely it's going to get called away as Walgreens had a nice squeeze this week. The SPY, I've got some butterfly spreads out. I took some profit today on the SPY with those long calls. We had a really nice gamma squeeze. I'll show you that in the chart here. Let me see if I can find it. I posted this in my Telegram right here. Here it is. So this is the trade that we took yesterday. There was a massive 585 right there, and Wednesday's trading was just slowly melting up, and then we closed around 582. We gapped all the way up to 585 and change. So today it was place the trades yesterday. It was pretty inexpensive. I had debits from 71 cents down to 65 cents, down to 55 cents, up to like $1 and up to another like 80 cents. I mean, all the trades I took, they're all like dirt cheap. And by the time we opened this morning, I was seeing trades that were closing for like $2.40. I had trades that closed over $5 today. And those are some pretty big gains, very cheap, inexpensive options with short-term expirations. I took the trade yesterday, put on a Friday expiration so I could take in today's price action. And sure enough, gamma squeeze gets hits again, and love it. So that was a really nice gain. 156% on one trade, and then a 246%. Actually, this is 176%. So 176 on a couple of these closes, and then 246 on another. All in all it does is put a big smile on my face. It made me greedy today because I played with some house money. We had 2 wins on daily profit play. Went for third, risked that $50, lost it. But I'm still net positive on the day for daily profit play, and then a big win on the SPY. And overall for the week, I'm up like $600 and some on the daily profit play. Let's see here. I think the reason I was getting those high deltas at your strike price this morning is that I was in the AM. Yes, very, very different. So were you looking at the SPX? SPX expirations for today should not have been an AM for the 17th. There's an AM for tomorrow, and there's a normal weekly expiration for tomorrow. So yeah, we never want to trade the AM expirations for the SPX. Okay. All right, good stuff. So anyway, gamma squeeze strikes again. That was awesome. That was a lot of fun. We stacked up some profits and paid out really nicely this morning. And I wanted to check here on just some of the other short-term expirations that I have. So SPY, if we get a butterfly spread payout tomorrow, let's find out. Pfizer, it's a diagonal spread that if I don't get it called away at $29.50, I will add another $29.50 sell call and lower it by another 20, 30 cents. Probably go out 1 or 2 weeks. NVIDIA, I have, these are expiring for full profit. Sweet. There's NVIDIA for $4,600. These expire Well, a decent chunk of these at least expire tomorrow. So this was a income trade for about 125 bucks. And then the rest of these have some time in them. But Nvidia's been really good to me so far at $4,600. Never own the shares, only options, and take some good profit. So I have a decent chunk of expirations tomorrow on a bull put spread that was a ratio spread. Sorry, for about $1.25 per contract. Netflix, I've got the earnings play going out tonight. It is all bull call spreads, and we'll see if we have a big pop. And then I have some hedges on NQ, which are likely going to be costing me money. I'm risking anywhere between $500 to $1,000 per account. I look at it like the cost of doing business. If we had a big downside move and just protecting, and unfortunately that's going to be a loss in a dent, but it is what it is. I'd rather have that protection. And then TSM goes out to next week. Oxy trading at 51.58. This goes out to next week. Let me take a look at OXY for a moment. So OXY, what's your bias on the Nasdaq? Gerald asks. I'm pretty bullish on everything right now. I think we're still going to deal with some market chop. Don't be surprised if we have a pullback. I think the market's pretty darn resilient. Here's my thoughts. As long as we don't break this August low, this market is still going to do what it can to find a way to rip. I think that the Qs can go to all-time highs. I think the SPY and the DIA hit all-time highs. The S&P, the Dow hit all-time highs. The Nasdaq. I think the Nasdaq's going to gun for these highs. Okay. Look, if it's sitting here, it's like everyone's going to be like, it's going to be a top. Look, if the market doesn't immediately reverse here in a big way, this is going to be more melt up and more melt up and more melt up, and we'll probably have the typical seasonality, which November, December goes higher. And it might be lower volume. It might be passive. It might feel like this market never wants to go down. That's fine. November, December should not be about, calling tops. November and December should be about flowing with momentum. And if momentum is pushing higher, let it go higher. Okay. So I'm watching closely, because if we have like a nasty snap like we did back in September when we had that post-September or September Labor Day drop, right? And then we rip back up to these highs. We could have a pullback into the moving averages. We got a 50, we got a 100, we got a 200 here, but there's no major technical damage done. So anything in this level, I'm looking to add in some trades on the QQQ and the SPY and the DIA, the Russell, all of them. I don't mind, adding some exposure, looking to see if we go higher. And I think this market is pretty conditioned to, or I should say primed rather, to go higher. Obviously, no guarantees. We might see the market tank, maybe. But I don't necessarily think the market cares a lot about inflation because it shrugged it off. I don't think the market cares about what's going on in the Middle East because oil prices are still at $71. The market doesn't care about the election until it matters. I don't think the market's going to care about gridlock because that's the likely outcome. The Fed's going to cut rates November, December, most likely based on probabilities. So I think the market has blinders on, and I think the market finds a way to see everything just melt up higher, right? And it's like, worry about it later. Worry about it later. Reality check later, right? Second wave of inflation that gets worse, worry about it later. So we will see. But it's going to be interesting. I'm watching price, but I just think that right now, buying the dips, we haven't really had any major derailment of this momentum, and I still think there's more upside. So pretty simple, I think, at least. But I'm also not like, I'm not like over protecting. I may end up putting in some more very inexpensive, like maybe it cost me $200 to $500, but I'll put in some very inexpensive plays out through maybe the end of November or even into December in case the market doesn't cooperate by end of year. And if it's something that I can spend, $500 on to pay me, I don't know, maybe $2,000, maybe $5,000. That's a huge payout, but it would be like in the event of some wild volatility rise or some type of like vol expansion like we had in early August. I think these trades could pay out really nicely, so it's worth it to have a very inexpensive hedge. And also, it's like if the markets go higher, the inexpensive hedge is easily absorbed, and my portfolio keeps going higher with the overall melt up. Okay, definitely had an AM. Interesting. I didn't see that today, unless it's not in my platform. But if I go trade SPX, I want to go to OXY for a second. So today, I have the October 17th. I've got the October 18th AM, and then the regular weekly October 18th. So I didn't see an AM this morning. But either way, I get it. Could you use MSTR as a way to time Bitcoin? Yes, and I do. Actually, MSTR MicroStrategy is one of the ways that I am trading Bitcoin. Yep. So I'm trading IBIT, FBTC, BITO, and MSTR. and Coinbase actually, to kind of express Coinbase more so like just out of the way, 111, trying to generate some income. I think I have a trade on Coinbase here. Coinbase, yep, it's all the way down here. So this is $3.95 credit. So that's going to be an income play by January. If this stock continues to go up and we see all-time highs, that's great. I could maybe get a little bit more aggressive, but when we were actually down in this area, the IV rank was high enough that I started to place this trade. So that's a nice little income play. And I am also willing to own the shares because I've done this before with Coinbase where I took shares. I think I took assignment at like 155 and I lowered my cost basis in about a month down to like $55. It was ridiculously easy to shave off like $100 of cost using options. So if I were to own Coinbase again, I would do the exact same thing. So yeah, I mean, I'll take some shares, but that's an income play. But I like the idea of if I'm going to trade Bitcoin, I do have Bitcoin, and then the ETFs. BITO you can trade options on, so that one's doing okay. It's starting to uptick a little bit. Okay. So I have some naked puts. I've got a long call out to 2026. I'm trying to turn this into a 3 to 400% gain if we hit these highs. If I go to IBIT, this one is the BlackRock ETF. I have dollar cost averaged into this one at these equal lows. And I'm looking to see if we break these highs. I've already measured the move out here. If Bitcoin hits 100K, based on the percentage move itself, I've measured IBIT to hit something around $57. So my break even's in the 30s for IBIT. If we get up to 57, I will enjoy a nice little chunk of gains. That's about 51% upside on the shares that I own. I don't have anything on options because IBIT doesn't have options yet, but they are pending the CFTC approval and OCC approval. They were approved by the SEC. Now we're waiting for those final bodies to say, okay, cleared for options on IBIT, and that will create a lot of layering, a lot of order flows, a lot of heavy options around it most likely. And I think that's good. I think that's a good thing. I am curious to see what those option prices look like. If it's just everyone's just buying calls like crazy and losing their butts because they don't go out far enough or they don't know how to manage an option trade or they don't turn it in diagonals. I will probably just generate some income trades. If we start to have a really nice trend, if we have a breakout trade here and we're going towards that measured move, I'm just going to do a bunch of bull call spreads and just basically for if I can get in, I buy a call, sell a call for $1, buy a call, sell a call for $1, and just watch these things stack up for some gains. You can turn maybe like a 45-cent debit into a 60 or I guess a 55-cent winner, right? So you can make over 100% return on those trades, and it's just get them stacked up, and that ends up paying out pretty well. But to answer your question there, Harry, yes, you can trade MSTR as a way to, kind of correlate with Bitcoin. Okay, so there's my MSTR right here. I'm not doing anything right now. I'm waiting to see. I mean, I've got some trades down here, some income trades down here on MSTR, but I want to see what happens next. I mean, if we pull back, way more interested in kind of buying lows and trading options again. But if we just go higher, I don't know if MicroStrategy breaks these highs without having Bitcoin go with it. So it's certainly a bit more volatile. I mean, the beta on MSTR, it's surprisingly low considering the stock is crazy aggressive. The beta is 1.22. But Bitcoin is at just under 67. We're still hitting this resistance level. Like pretty consistently, it's been rejecting. So I was kind of hoping, I said this earlier in my live session, if we hit, let's say 59,000 again, I might look at a credit spread. I might look at another position on those instruments that I mentioned and see if this ends up breaking and going higher. Or once we get to new highs, I'm just looking at that for that momentum, and I'll just trade BITO till the cows come home. Maybe some MSTR because they have that 10-for-1 split. I don't know. Maybe that's about it. So we'll see what it does. Okay. I've got some chats coming in here. I heard them popping in. All right. So we'll see what happens with the back and forth here. If we pull back to 59, cool. If we pull back to 52, I'm actually kind of excited about that. There's still some, some liquidity levels we could possibly check. Otherwise, we might not see 50,000. This thing is like right on the brink. If we get a breakout here, a breakout retest, or any type of accumulation would be pretty fantastic to the upside. So, yeah, I mean, buckle up if it happens. It's going to be a lot of fun to see that extra profit rolling into the portfolios by the end of the year. I've been, kind of riding this accumulation cycle for a while, and I want to see if we actually get paid out. So, good stuff. All right. What else? I want to talk about OXY for a moment. I've got to double check in the portfolio. We're trading down to 5164. I need to double check my personal tracker here for OXY. So I currently own the shares at 5271. And let me see when the expiration is. So positions, OXY. Let me take this down here, get it in alphabetical order. So I own the shares. They are covered. At 54, there's a long protected put November 15th out to $40 that is down slightly. I collected 88 cents in that trade, and all right. So this is out to next Friday. Let me see if this is trading for right now. 13 cents. So by tomorrow or by Monday, enough time might have passed. If this is trading for a single digit, my break even is 52.71. So if by tomorrow or by Monday, this is trading like less than 10 cents, maybe 5 cents, I will probably just roll this and lower the cost basis and maybe roll my strike down. If I got a 52.71, the IV's 83, there should be a decent amount of premium to get for this. If I roll this out to maybe the 25th, if I roll it down a strike, I get 28 cents. That's not going to do it. I mean, technically it would. I'd still get like 60 cents a share. I go out another week. Now we're talking. Yeah, this is probably more my speed. So if I keep it at, let's see here, $54. $54. So if I rolled it to the first to $53, I take my break even from 52.71. And if I rolled it down to the 53, that would be 56 cents. That brings me down to 52.50, and I get it called away for $53. That's 85 cents a share. So I make $425, and I can lower the cost basis by another 56 cents. Now, what's interesting is I see. I'm curious what the break even is at 52. If I have 52.71 minus 96, I get it called away at 52. I make 25 cents a share. Make 120. Yeah, I'm probably more interested in like that $300, $400, $500 range for an income trade. So, and I still have protection if this thing just like if the floor drops out and it keeps breaking below, $50, I've got a $40 put that should increase in value if it happens quickly. But if it doesn't, hopefully I can just repair this thing around that $50 handle. All right, back to the chats here. Could Trump be the only one to solidify a Bitcoin rally? I don't think it really matters, to be honest. Look, I mean, Trump talked about not taxing tips. Kamala Harris talked about not taxing tips. Trump is trying to pander himself to the crypto audience. Kamala Harris is pandering herself to the crypto audience. I mean, this election is really look what's the song? Anything you can do, I can do better. And it's like both candidates are doing the same thing. So they're pretty much trying to pander to the same thing of like, we'll do this on immigration, we'll do this on inflation, we'll do this on the economy, we'll do this for the U.S. worker, we'll do this for the middle class. That's the difference, though. I would say Democrats are definitely more in favor of trying to make it sound like they're going to help the middle class, the working class, the even lower class, and Republicans, of course, are like, we love the wealthy. So that's probably the only stark difference between the two parties, but everything else is basically the same. And so pro crypto, I really don't think it matters. I don't think there's going to be any major sweeping reform. I mean, if Donald Trump is promising like we're going to make Bitcoin the world reserve currency, it's like, yeah, speculators might love it, but you know how freaking hard that's going to be and impossible that's going to be. There's no way. Like that is not happening overnight. I mean, if the Fed is smart, they already have exposure to Bitcoin. If they're smart, as a backup plan when our debt's going to $37 trillion, who the hell knows? But that's a lot that's going to have to change. I mean, the entire global economy and the entire global financing would have to change if Bitcoin is going to become that legit. But all of a sudden, game theory on, Bitcoin goes to $1 million freaking dollars, and everyone that's been in it for the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years, or those that bought pizzas with it 10 years ago, you're just going to be sitting on all this potential rags to riches type stuff. So, which president favors the dollar? I don't know, to be honest. I think Trump is probably more the dollar hater. He's talking about gutting the Fed, probably firing Jerome Powell, weakening the dollar, cutting rates like crazy. You know, I don't think the dollar has a good shot if Trump's in office. Harris, I'm not really sure. I mean, we've obviously seen the dollar drop. We've seen the dollar rally from these bear trap lows. If I go to the chart right here, it's like the dollar has just been doing its thing. I still even though the dollar, I mean, this thing won't stop, will it? It's just freaking bear trap city, man. Wow. So I do think this is a really good potential technical setup on the dollar if we basically stall right in here, because right now, like, there's our first impulsive wave. Now we could still pull back to the same area and then have more of a trap, more of a range on the dollar. But if this is going to end up breaking some floors, this spot right here in this area of resistance and this giant inefficiency, to me, this is a perfect spot to be looking for this dollar to roll over. Now, I also wonder if the dollar rolls over as the election comes, right? Either pre-election, post-election. Let's see if the dollar actually catches some direction. And if so, do we just go back down to the lows again for a target one? Do we actually break the floor and go way lower? I don't know. Do we go higher on the dollar? I don't know, right? But I'm watching to see. But this thing has been a relentless move off that bear trap low. So, I mean, look, I just hope everyone just took a stab at some dollar long, because for weeks I was like, don't sell the dollar. If anything, buy the dollar low and let it. We've got pivots, we got pockets, we got inefficiencies, and that trade worked out pretty well. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Okay. All right. What else we have? OXY. I'll check on that one for tomorrow and next week. I want to see if that cover call at 54 is trading for less than 10 cents. I'll probably end up rolling it. Try to work my cost basis down another 50 to 60 cents or higher. Work my cost basis. If I can make, I'd say 75 cents a share, $1 a share would be ideal. Just trying to carve out a little bit of income. Walgreens income. I did a roll today on JD, trying to generate another $400, $500, $600 there. It adds up. I've got some silver trades that are going to be expiring today. Should be about $3,000 or $4,000 in silver with SI futures. My SLV position is still in a big chunk of profit, looking to have that run further out. What else do I have here? I think that's about it. I think that's about it for today. Let me take a look at currency strength. I saw that we had was it the CAD today? Currency strength. Aussie's on top. Yeah, that's what I saw this morning. So Aussie on top, pound, New Zealand dollar, Swiss just below baseline. We got the Japanese yen, the CAD, the euro weaker. Right around 8:30 with the ECB press conference, the euro did get weaker. It was down at the bottom of the food chain today. The ECB did cut rates by 25 basis points. The Fed's about to cut rates another 25 basis points. So another reason that the dollar could also be positioned for a bit of a top and then maybe a retest of those lows, because the Fed's going to cut another 25 to 50 basis points. I think if they do cut in November, they're likely also going to cut in December. So if the market hasn't priced that in yet, then we'll see what the dollar does by the end of the year. But I think that's also the backdrop for the market to continue to rally because of the weaker dollar, more risk appetite, more flows coming in, good seasonality. As long as the election is not super disruptive with like all Republicans sweeping or all Democrats sweeping, then I think the market's going to keep doing its thing and plugging away. Okay. All right. Any charts, any requests, anything you'd like to take a look at? I'll go another like 5-10 minutes. I'm going to wrap up, get a small breather, take a breath, and then at 4 p.m. I got a class for my daily profit play members. We had another decent day. I got a little greedy, but took a small loss in the afternoon with that late gamma stuff at 2 p.m. But earlier this morning, 2 for 2 was pretty good. That's 11 for 12 on the week, or 12 for 12 on the week. Actually, 12 of 13 now. That's still pretty good for the week, and we still have tomorrow. Okay. What GEX indicator do you use? I don't even know what that is. My least favorite thing is acronyms. So when people are like OTM, ITM, take what PDS, put debit spread, it's like, stop, just type it out. So what is GEX? I don't know what that is, Carmen. Dollar Swiss, sure, I'll take a look. I'm long dollar Swiss, I'm holding dollar Swiss, and it's working out well. What I'm looking for in dollar Swiss is I'm holding this thing all the way back towards 92. all of my trades that I've been in for the last couple of years, all these lows, all these lows, all these trend lines, okay? I have added 20 plus trades in the dollar Swiss. Get back up to 92, I am taking some profit, and I will take 25 positions and take 25 positions for profit, and I'll make, I don't know, probably 5 to 10,000 pips of profit on this thing. So I have built this up into a position. So 92 is a great target. If we actually end up making this a breakout trade, this could potentially be a double bottom. Now that might be worth keeping some of the trades on, but if I'm up here and I've got, I mean, I don't know, man, I might have like $10,000 to $15,000 of profit on this trade. If I close it out, I might just call it a day. And if I want to keep a little position on, maybe run for another whatever 900 pips, I might keep that. But yeah, I'll wait. But this is my destination right now at 92 on the dollar Swiss. Okay. Oh, gamma exposure. Okay. Yeah. See what I'm talking about? Acronyms. Gamma exposure. I mean, all I'm using is this guy. This is a gamma squeeze index that I have in my software from Dynamic Trends. This is also how I plotted that long SPY trade because we had a nice gamma squeeze at 585, and so I do this in a short term and swing trade format. I'm looking to see where the biggest trades are coming in. So changes in gamma levels, change in price, change in option flows, open interest levels. All these things are kind of added in, and I get a really nice visual on this. So yeah, I mean, that was the trade. So right now, I mean, 585 has been kind of the magnet for the week, and it might still be that, but tomorrow this might all be subject to change. We'll find out. But it was enough to give me a nice big profit this week because it stood out. It stood out like so well yesterday that it just called price right to it. So I was really happy that we opened up, found it, closed out near the highs today, and now price is done. Obviously, what it did, and it came back and filled the gap. But that is a software that I have from Dynamic Trends, and that's in my Discord. If anybody subscribes to that software, you get a nice little discount from me. Get you 2 months for free. What's your stop? I don't have a stop loss. So I invested in this position. The way that I trade with positions like this is if I bought here, bought here, bought here, and then added on trendline breaks, which I did, and I'm waiting for this trendline break to add some more. The reason I don't use stops is because if this were to go lower, all I'm going to do is take a crappy position like this and close it out for a loss, and then maybe another crappy position like this and close it out for a loss. I will maintain this position. So that might make everyone uncomfortable because I don't use stop losses here, but I'm trading so small that even when this got down to these lows, my drawdown was about 3%. And when this thing goes to profit, my profit's going to be closer to like 10 to 20%. So if I could turn a 3-to-1 or a 7-to-1 risk to reward, depending on if I'm able to add a bunch on the way up, I can stomach a 3% drawdown all the time. I don't worry about it. I trade small enough that I'm not worried about a 3% drawdown. But if the trade gets really nasty, then sure, I'll scale out. And that's why I trade with non-FIFO for my broker, because I can scale out of terrible positions. So even if I go old trades and go FIFO and I close out the oldest trade, I can do that too. But if I trade non-FIFO, I can pick my trades, pick my levels, pick my trade sizes, and trade like so. So anyway, for this trade, there's not a stop loss. A lot of trades, I will use them. A lot of trades, it's pretty straightforward with a swing or a scalp. But for position trades, I tend to trade really, really small, build positions over time, and let these probabilities of this being a low, this being a resistance level, and trying to get back. And really, it's all influenced by this pocket right here. I think ultimately the dollar Swiss comes all the way back to this inefficiency, and that's where I'd like to hang on to this dollar Swiss. But because I see the structure right here, and every trade that I'm in can be profitable, I'll take profit right there. It's good enough, but I can probably leave a trade on to run even further, and I might, but I'm probably going to take off 90+% of the position at my profit target at 9,200. Okay. And do I use trailing stops? Eventually. But Francois, because I have 20 some positions open, I'm not putting on 25 trailing stop losses. I'm essentially just going to do this. My favorite thing to do is when I'm at my profit target, I go into my broker platform and I close literally every position in one click. That's my favorite thing. All my positions, close them all out. On MT4, I can run a script, close them all out. That's my favorite. And so every trade closes out in proper FIFO order, or if I have different trade sizes, I can close them out any order that I want to, but that's what I do. Trailing stop losses would be for more of like an individual trade. If I was in the trade right here, the breakout, I put a stop loss in and this thing's going higher. I move the stop loss to break even and then I trail it and I give myself enough distance, like maybe every 10 pips or so, moves my stop 10 pips, right? Or turn it on with an indicator based stop loss and just let it trail. But for the most part, trailing stop losses get in the way. And I just like profit targets, and they tend to get hit. I take profit targets at very obvious levels. These are resistance levels that the market's going to come back and grab at some point. So, I set a chart limit 92 and close out my trade. Pretty simple. All right. Anything else? Anything else? We're good on dollar Swiss. We got the GAM exposure. I got some more stuff to chat about tomorrow. I think so. Tomorrow's schedule might be modified just a little bit. Tomorrow, my final hour session, it's going to be tight. I might do a video because I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to be pulled into a webinar at 2:30 tomorrow. So from 2:30 to 3:30, this is Eastern time. I'm just trying to think. Worst case scenario is I post a video through TradingView on my YouTube channel, and I'll put that in Telegram and Discord. So if I'm not live tomorrow, I'll communicate that to my channels. If I am live tomorrow, I might just do a very short session at like 3:30 p.m. Eastern time, if I can get out of that webinar in time, and then I'll go for like maybe 30 minutes or so and wrap up for the week. Fair? So that'll be tomorrow. Daily Profit Play members, I'm going to kick off the class in about 20 minutes. So we'll start at the top of the hour. I think it's a good spot to wrap up here for the final hour for today. Someone's asking if I'm with MTI. No, I'm not with them anymore. I was officially done after their anniversary event in September. Where's Frank today? Frank is on with A1 Trading. That's usually at 10 o'clock in the morning when he feels like joining me. So usually that session's all me. NVDA prediction. You want to look at NVIDIA? Sure. So NVIDIA, NVIDIA, I love a pullback. I love a pullback. I don't know if we're going to get one, but I'd love one. So what I'd like to see on NVIDIA is, we come to tap these highs, we reject these highs briefly, and let's see if we can just pull back into a 50, test the backside of this trend line. If we can, off we go. I'm prepared for NVIDIA to either, one, not pull back at all and just go higher, two, pull back to a 50 or a 100 moving average and then go higher, three, pull all the way back to this trend line and or 200 moving average and then go higher. And I think NVIDIA has had a good run. It was one of the top performing stocks of this entire year. It was a huge contributor to the S&P gains for the year. And I do think that a little sideways NVIDIA would be okay. So I'm looking to see if we can get a dip, I'd buy it. Get a bit dip, I'd buy it. Get a bigger dip, I'd buy it. Long term, I think NVIDIA still has room to run. I think that NVIDIA goes higher, not just by itself, but I think with the broader market in a bull market. We'd have to see tech doing well. We'd have to see the S&P going higher and the Qs going higher. We'd have to see the semiconductors going higher. So SMH and SOXX. If that space in AI and everything is going higher and earnings are coming in hot and beating, then yeah, NVIDIA goes higher. But am I crazy bullish on NVIDIA? I want to be, but I'm down here with ratio spreads, and I sold a ton of spreads or sold a ton of credit spreads and ratio spreads when we had that August volatility spike. And so I don't have to get anything going right now. I'll probably make, $5,000 or $6,000 and never own NVIDIA, but I want to participate. I'm just thinking like what's best right now. Before the election, I don't know if the market's going to give us really much of anything directionally outside of maybe a hiccup to the downside. Just enough to kind of rattle the market, slap it in the face, and then, put some smelling salt in, and it's like, okay, let's go higher. So I hope we have a bit of a pullback where it's not just like the market is. It'd be weird to see the market melting up through all-time highs prior to the election, and that would just tell me like the market just doesn't give a shit about anything. It's just like just go higher. Whoever's president, we'll figure it out. Market's better than everything. Like it's so determined. But I think a little shakeout, a little pullback, a little chop would make some sense from here, as we're within 2-3 weeks in the election. So, but anyway, NVIDIA, it goes up with the broader market. The impressive thing about this stock is if it goes up, it has the tendency to go up very, very quickly. So when this thing moves, it's been moving in like these, 8, 9, 10% bursts And I mean, heck, if we go from 140 and we move up 10%, like that's pretty good, right? 10% puts us up to like 154, 155. I mean, if we got a pullback, look for the same thing. So, yeah, I like it. It's good. It's good until the competition gets stiff. Right now, the demand for NVIDIA chips is still skyrocketing. It's too much to keep up for. There's heavy amounts of insider selling where employees have been made into multimillionaires just by having stock options. It's crazy. And so what are they doing? They're actually leaving NVIDIA. They're quitting the company because they're sitting on $10 million. They're like, I'll figure it out. I'll figure out how to invest, or I'll figure out how to do another startup and build my own company and whatever. So yeah, I mean, good for it. You still trading Forex? Yeah, I trade everything. So here is an example. In the A1 Trading Discord, I do have a Pulver alert service. Index trades, commodity trades, Forex trades, stocks, options, and futures. I trade everything. So Pulver/alerts. I just did a webinar on this on Tuesday. So this service is offered through A1 Trading. I've been with them for the last couple of years, just to help, helping out the team. Nick, Frank, Elvin, the whole team is awesome. And so, yeah, they asked me to just help out / be on their live sessions. And if I wanted to offer some trade alerts, then I said, sure. So yeah, I trade everything. And that is how it's going to be. I like to trade and I've been doing it for a while. So why not? Cool. All right. So that's that. There's Discord stuff. Put that back there. So if you're interested, I'll share that here. Actually, if you want to join me tomorrow morning, you can see that live. You can see that live link. I'm with them every day at like 10:15 a.m. I push it on my YouTube channel. They stream it on their side, so they post links for those alerts, and it's also on my Discord. So it's in my education announcements and things like that. All right, okay, I'm gonna go so I don't eat up all my time, and I've got about 10 minutes before I start my next class. So happy Thursday, good trading for the day, good trading for the week. Let's have another good day tomorrow. Daily Profit Play members, I'll see you in about 10 minutes. And let's have a good masterclass, number 3. All right, thanks, everybody. If you would be so kind, hit the thumbs up button for me if you're on YouTube. Smash the like button. You know the deal. Support the algorithm. Any comments that you have during these live sessions are very, very helpful. So that goes a long ways. So thanks for tuning in. And yes, I'm with Invest Pub, Prosperity Pub. And then I do an alert service with A1 Trading. I've got my hands in a lot of places right now because I've been working with a lot of good people in the industry for a lot of years, and yeah, I'm okay like putting myself out there. So I like working with people that are creative. I like working with people that are awesome at trading, and I like making sure that I can have a good audience to help. And that is it. So, all right, everybody. Thanks. I will see you all in 20 minutes or 10 minutes if you're my Daily Profit Play member. I'll see you tomorrow in live sessions for Daily Profit Play. My collab with A1 Trading in the morning. I've got a couple webinars, and then I think our final hour session might be pushed to 3:30 tomorrow. And I'll go for like a half hour just to wrap it up and kind of get to closing bell. And then we're done. All right, thanks, everybody. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, bye.